Brom got one back. They missed a host of chances, but they couldn't find an equaliser. 3 more enormous championship points for Leicester City. They've beaten West Brom by 1-0.
Quite brilliantly. We'll stay with the scenes, we'll stay with Jerry Taggart out there. Jerry, talk us through it. It looks incredible and it sounds brilliant as well. The crowd were invested in every single minute of that, weren't they?
Oh, it's unreal scenes. I mean, when that final whistle went, all the players, the reaction, one of just sheer relief. And I mean, the commentator Chris Parry even got that carried away with his ending statement. He forgot to call the right score. So I'm just in fits of laughter here.
It's 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1, not 1-0. But that just shows you the emotion that's in this stadium right now and what this result means now. And now the music's blaring on. I mean, what an incredible game of football. How it's ended 2-1, I have got no idea. And I tell you, you go to your XG, Dan Bates, and tell me what your XG says right now. Because that has just ripped up the XG book and chucked it straight in the bin.
2.31 for Leicester, Jerry. 2.63 for West Brom.
What was the score, Dan?
2-1 for Leicester.
There you go.
We're seeing some brilliant shots here of Abdul, of Jamie Vardy, of the Leicester supporters. Matt Elliott's even tapping his foot along in the studio to this song. It feels like a really important win, Jerry.
Oh, that goes without saying. That's the understatement of the season, mate. I mean, it's a massive win. And, you know, after West Brom got themselves back in the game, clawing that goal back, you know, I'm not saying you're fearing the worst, but you know you're in for a nervy 15, 20 minutes, wherever it is. But in fairness to the lads, you know, they cope with that last 15, 20 minutes pretty well. They had 1 or 2 half chances, West Brom, but nothing like the serious chances they had at the beginning of that second half. I seen the game out. As I say, when that final whistle went down, the reaction of the players was quite incredible. And obviously the fans in the stadium as well to boot. So yeah, a massive 3 points.
Yeah, I think you've been on commentary, correct me if I'm wrong, James, the 3 of the home games that we've had back to back. Maybe we need to keep you on co-commentary, Jerry, for the remaining games.
Unfortunately, I'm not here for the remaining home games.
But each one felt important, obviously. Each one had its own nerves involved in it, and today everyone felt that, but it was good nerves in the end, and that's why we're seeing this release that we're seeing.
Yeah, I think, you know, when you get yourselves in front like you did, you know, it's a massive hammer blow going 2-0 up against West Brom today. Massive hammer blow for them. And then you let them back in. You let them back in with a little sniff. So to see it out in the way they did, and you could say, you know, you rightly say, you know, the 2 wins against Norwich and Birmingham previously, again, big games, but this was another step up today in regards to, you know, how important winning today was. And somehow, somewhere, they've managed to do that.
Yeah, a lot of the adulation, Jerry, not just from Enzo Maresca, but from Tom Cannon, we've seen there from a lot of the supporters, seems to be going to Hamza Chowdhury. Is it a fairly easy offering of a man of the match today?
Yeah, I'm not going to be controversial today. He's made 2 unbelievable clearances. And not just them, I mean, his defensive work today was sensational, Hamza, without the ball. You know, so yeah, I think for them 2 goal line clearances alone, you have to give them a match. I mean, how often do you see that happen in a game of football? Where to see a man saves the team twice with 2 goal line clearances. It doesn't happen that often.
We're seeing Jerry, in fact, we'll leave Jerry for a moment. We'll let you have your own little
give me a break. Give me a break.
We'll come to Matt Elliott and Steve Howard, who are in the studio here with me, Dan Bates, and we're all smiles. And you've had a nice little couple of minutes off there, listening to Jerry talking us through those celebrations. But I mean, we felt it the same here, sat in here, didn't we? In those last 5 minutes, it's painful having to see it through a screen and not being out there, isn't it? But
it is when we're sat next to you, screeching and screaming away.
That's exactly right.
That's what it's all about, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is just, it's a huge 3 points.
Yeah, amazing game, wasn't it? I mean, you're left scratching your head a little bit. How Joe's mentioned it there, how it ended up 2-1 to Leicester as well. Not very often Leicester are outdone in the shooting stats, like shots towards goal and on target. They were today quite considerably at home at the King Power, but all said and done, you can understand the relief there and the joy at getting that sort of result, because it keeps Leicester in pole position, doesn't it, as they are. And effectively, they need to win 2 out of 3, and then no one can do anything about that. That's a big if.
And that's assuming the other results go.
Yeah. If they all go,
those teams,
to form, shall we say? Although I don't know what form is lately in the Championship, but it's I'm just wary a little bit. I get the relief and the celebrations there, and rightly so. You enjoy any win as much as you can, but it's just got to be tempered a little bit, because there's still work to be done. We saw similar scenes against Birmingham when Leicester got the late winner, and then we saw 2 poor away performances. So, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but listen, enjoy the moment. They work their absolute socks off. They're not firing on all cylinders, nowhere near. And West Brom they surprised me how decent they were at times, but it was by the skin of their teeth, wasn't it? And it wasn't 2 goal line clearances, it was 3, wasn't it, from Chowdhury, really? 2 in 1.
2 in 1, yeah.
Wasn't
it?
The second one.
Yeah.
So a hat-trick of goal line clearances. Well done, Hamza. And sorry, Steve, the next people, Maresco was keen to point him out there, wasn't he? His arm around him. Look at the crowd.
And Tom Cannon,
this man. Yeah, Tom Cannon and all the other boys, because he's had a little bit of criticism. A couple of times his defending hasn't been quite to the standard that he's capable of setting, but he's a great character, Hamza. He's not captain or vice captain for no reason at such a relatively young age. Well done to him today.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been 3-3, that game. It was so tiring watching, never mind the lads playing it. But I think fair play to Leicester, the West Brom had their opportunities, didn't take them. But, on the other side of the coin, Leicester took theirs, which is, I think, going into it, I'm just, like me and Matt were saying before the game, the first 5-10 minutes of each half is a concern for me, because, that was their best opportunities first half. And second half was their best opportunities, the first 5-10 minutes. So, but you put a marker down to say, what, we just beat West Brom 2-1. The rest of the league's looking at that now, thinking, right, okay, pressure's all on us now. So it's it's over to them type of thing.
That's an excellent point, actually. When we looked at the fixtures for the other teams, didn't we, before the game? There's some tough ones coming up. Ipswich, again, don't play for a week now. Leicester play again in midweek, of course. That is the marker that if you're playing first, you have to put that down, and that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, it'd be anything other than 3 points today that were considered, no matter how well Leicester played or didn't, would be considered a massive missed opportunity to put the squeeze on. And by hook or by crook, they've done it. They've done it. Other teams, we've seen Ipswich play not particularly well, and then they've snuck it at the end with 2 late goals numerous times. And no one really gives a jot about, or cares a jot about, how Ipswich play. It's like, oh no, they've got another 3 points there.
Yeah.
Today, it's the opposite. People were looking at Leicester going, do you know what? They were slightly fortunate at times, riding their luck, but fair play, they hang in. And a bit of quality in moments was enough for them, and that's almost as pleasing as a 5-0 rout in a way, because it shows they're up for the challenge. They hung in there. It was mighty close at times, and it could have quite easily have gone the other way, quite badly, but they kept going, and that's the sort of performance that's probably going to bring you success more than free-flowing football at this stage of the season.
I mean, you look at the other teams as well. If you're one of the other teams, you'll just see the result. Because obviously they'll be preparing for their games and all that sort of stuff. But so they won't watch the games; they'll just see the result, and the pressure's back on them. They'll be looking at that thinking, oh my God, Leicester's just turned West Brom over 2-1. So
demoralised.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, yeah, because by all accounts, if you listen to everyone across the football nation, Leicester have bottled it. They've thrown it. They've chucked it, and quite clearly they haven't. Not yet, anyway. You know, they're back top of the league, sitting relatively pretty, and if they've had an absolute drop off of form, but they're still in there, and looking good at this moment in time.
Yeah, Jerry, we said before the game as well, when we looked at the fixtures that the teams had left, that 3 of Leicester's last 4 coming at home here at King Power Stadium was a huge boost, wasn't it? And actually today is a reason why, and we've seen that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as I say, the current home form you haven't really had an issue with. It has been the away form. So but you again, after those 2 away defeats, you know, you have to pick yourself up, come back here, and then obviously go again. You've got to lift yourselves up from that, from disappointing results, disappointing performances, and go again. And that's exactly what we got today. You know, and you know, it was one of them games. And I think Steve Howard mentioned that it doesn't matter how you play today, and you've seen that with the tactics from Enzo as well. You know, where he actually told Mads Hermansen to get his back line up to the halfway line, and he started going long. You've seen a lot more longer balls because, you know, West Brom were well versed in how to play against Leicester playing out from the back. And he said, you know what, I'm going to scrap that today. I'm going to go long. And it worked. You know, and it was ugly at times. But it doesn't matter. What matters is getting the result. You know, as you know, Steve rightly said, at this stage, because, you know, sometimes when you're trying to play out and it's a little bit nervy, the fans get nervy, the players get nervy, and if you cut that out of the game, then you've got, you know, that sort of one less worry to think about. And today, you know, was exactly that. Yes, West Brom had their chances but didn't take them. And they threw a lot at Leicester in that second half, but they dealt with it. And that just shows that, yeah, and you've seen the reaction after the game as well, so that just sort of shows you that, you know, they're going to try and give it everything to, you know, until they get themselves over the line, or you know, unfortunately they go into the playoffs. But definitely today, you know, is a big heartbreaker for the rest of the chasing pack.
Yeah, if you just look at the right hand side of your screen there, you can see the updated league table, which has Leicester at the top, of course. They've played the same amount as Ipswich and Leeds now, 4 clear of Leeds in third, 2 of Ipswich, of course, who are in second. Southampton have those games in hand. Big one, of course, on Tuesday here at King Power Stadium against Southampton. Coming up on Matchday Live, we'll talk about that game on Tuesday, and we'll get more reaction from the team here to that fantastic 2-1 victory today, so don't go anywhere.
Who wants to join me? Shopping at King Power. 3-day, 2-night stay booked. See ya.
To the rooftop bar.
To snap a photo for my IG.
To eat the famous pad thai.
The new collection is calling me.
Sure, there's a perfume I want. Let me ask my sis.
Yes, of course I'm going. Leicester City, Fox never quit.
Let's go. It's possible because King Power is more than just duty-free. Shop latest trends in beauty and gadgets, your coolest staycation, the legendary pad thai, best street food in town, a place to support your team, a fancy dinner, enjoy shopping at downtown stores and online, or even the thrill of a new experience. Explore your everyday possibilities. The power of possibilities. King Power.
The new season's nearly here and the opinions are getting stronger.
We've got serious pulling power now.
What? To get the top 2 players now?
Aye?
It's like I've been saying, if he settles the squad, we'll be back on top.
Only this time we're going for the quadruple.
You are joking, aren't you?
The time for talk is nearly over.
With over £4 million in free bet giveaways and huge price boosts, kick off your season with Sky Bet. That's betting better.
You're built different. Breathing new life into broken. Taking matters into your own hands. Assembling big dreams from the small things. Never stopping until you find right part at the right price. That's the eBay way.
Hello, football fans. This is a smart meter display. It helps you tackle energy usage, manage your spending, and keep you on target. Now that's a hat trick. Search Get a Smart Meter today.
The new season's nearly here and the opinions are getting stronger.
We've got serious pulling power now.
What? To get the top two players now?
Aye?
It's like I've been saying, if he settles the squad, we'll be back on top.
Only this time we're going for the quadruple.
You are joking, aren't you?
The time for talk is nearly over.
With over £4 million in free bet giveaways and huge price boosts, kick off your season with Sky Bet. That's betting better.
Welcome back to Matchday Live here on Fox's Hub, following a brilliant 2-1 victory over West Brom here at King Power Stadium. I'm Dan Bates. We've got Matt Elliott, Steve Howard and Jerry Taggart, who has been on co-commentary with us for the next 10 minutes or so as we assess that victory. Must go on to onto X, onto social media. Gary Lineker has said, thank heavens for that. Huge win for LCFC. Should carry a health warning. Watching the Foxes of late. Heroic stuff from Hamza Chowdhury. Well played, young man. And I think that's Jerry, you gave him the man of the match today, Hamza Chowdhury. But I think we have to reiterate it a little bit more. Just how heroic he was in the end. 3 goal line clearances, 2 in the space of 5 seconds. It was an immense effort from him. And then all the rest of the breaking up of play that he did.
Yeah, there was some, you know, you take the 2 or the 3 goal line clearances out of it. So, some of his break-up play today. And he had a tough time in the first half, didn't he? As well, with Mickey Johnson, who, you know, I haven't seen feet like that since I watched the Abale a couple of years ago. But, you know, he stuck to his task well. In the end, that Johnson goes off. And some of the challenges he made to break play up. And that's what you needed today. You know, you needed players who were willing to go and stick their head in, stick their boot in where it hurts. And you seen Harry Winks do it in the dying minutes. Well, I think it was right before the end, wasn't it, where he's gone in, stuck his head in there, and he's taken a boot to the head. And that's a bit unlike Harry Winks, but you know he knew how important that challenge was, and thankfully that was the end of the game. But Hamza sort of set the tone, didn't he, with some of those challenges today in the break-up of the play. And those are big moments in the game, especially when you're on the back foot. You know, every little deflected challenge, every little flick on you get, every clearance you get, every time you break the play up, because the opposition are in the ascendancy. So every time you do that, it just frustrates the life out of them. And it sort of brings the spotlight on you as an individual that little bit more, because of how important it is to be able to do that. So rightly, Hamza gets man of the match, apart from the goal line clearances, which were in themselves incredible.
Yeah, I think, Jerry, don't you, that today called for characters like Hamza out there, like Connor Cody to a degree as well, who slotted in, did a very good job, didn't he? And obviously you've got the likes of Jamie Vardy, who always leads from the front with a little bit of edge and aggression about his play. So does Hamza. And I think that's what Leicester needed, a boost in that department today.
Yeah, Mark, there's no doubt in my mind that, you know, having Connor Cody back in today has bolstered the defence, the physicality or the mentality, that never say die mentality. yes, you could say that Conor Cody was, you know, partly to blame for their goal. But overall, you know, you're looking at Fast and you're looking at Vestergaard, and all of a sudden, because Cody's on the pitch, they just look that little bit more solid, don't they? All round. And obviously Hamza brings his own type of game anyway. You know what you're going to get from Hamza as far as the mentality and the physicality of his game. But Conor Cody definitely just settles everybody down, you know, doesn't get stressed, doesn't get, you know, irate, and just, you know, marshals people, puts them in the right slot, and then they deal with the threat of the opposition that little bit better because he's in the team.
There's a great photo behind us here now on the screen of Enzo with Hamza Chowdhury, and we obviously don't want to put all our focus on one player, but when he's been as, and we can use the word heroic because there was some heroic defending in there from Hamza Chowdhury, you can afford to talk about it.
I mean, you talk about the goal scorers, you know, scoring the goals and winning the game, but he won the game because, you know, he saved 2 goals. So and like Jerry says there, you know, I thought his play was good. He broke a lot of things up and didn't make West Brom tick, you know, so he unbroken play, but it was a good performance by him, and I think, you know, like I said, the goal scorers take the credit, but he's got to take a lot of credit today.
Yeah, I think he's really showing a lot of maturity as well, Hamza. Like he's steady enough on the ball in possession. You know, he's not going to run the game maybe like Harry Winks does, etc. But he's got great mobility and agility as well. He's so quick on the turn. He's a real athlete, but he's got that aggression as well. And he's got a real good character about him. You know, some of it goes unseen, but there's a reason, I've mentioned it before, why Maresca picks him as captain when Vardy's not there. You know, you noticed that he got it today when Vardy went off ahead of Conor Cody. You know, Cody's seen as one of the leaders of the group. He's relatively young, Hamza. You know, he's maturing pretty quickly because he's got a little bit of an edge to him about his play and his attitude, which I like.
I was going to say, I don't mind. You don't mind that, do you?
He's a good thing. He's a good lad. But yeah, where was it? At Plymouth, he was first on the pitch when he was sub. He was up there. He was picking the other lads up off the floor. Vestergaard. I can't remember who the other player was now. I think it was Mavadili, I think. But he was there. Come on, boys. Let's get back on track. Let's deal with it. And that's the sort of character that Leicester need right now. Because, again, me and Steve were talking, thinking like Leicester are pretty and they're nice and methodical and they play good football. Sometimes you need a mix of other ingredients there and a bit of an edge, a bit of, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, a bit of aggression there, physicality,
fight,
whatever, you know, just to make the opposition realise, hang on, this is not going to be a stroll, even if we worked them out tactically. And I thought Leicester showed a mix of those ingredients today. Still needed some fortune, still needed some poor finishing, and an element of luck, to say the least, but that will more than suffice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, in terms of finishing, let's talk about Jamie Vardy, Steve. We saw one of your hat-tricks against West Brom before the game. Vardy, I guess, could have had one, couldn't he? He had half a chance that came across in the second half that he didn't quite get on.
I'm really surprised for him. He didn't get a hold of it.
Yeah. The penalty, obviously, but then the header that he did score. Let's talk about that. Abdul Fatawu, fantastic play, wasn't it, from him on the right-hand side?
Yeah, I mean, me and Matt were talking there when he did it. You know, the defender's really saying, go on your right foot, and he's obviously dropped his shoulder on his left and gone on the right and then clipped the ball to Vardy, but great moving from Vardy, and then Bumfie's up there to score the goal. But like you said, he could have had three. The one that flashed across the goal, I think he was unsighted. That's why I didn't see it, because it's very unlike him.
Yeah, it's got to be.
You expect him to be right on the end of that. And obviously the penalty, which he's obviously dragged left, but you know, it was one of them things. But for him to step up and score a goal, as if to say, you know, I'm still here, I'm still around, I can still do a bit. Don't worry about
that. For Tavu, he's got to do that more often.
Has to.
I mean, he does it on occasion. 9 times out of 10, when he does go on the outside, because the fullbacks just assume he's going to cut in, they show him such an avenue, such a big space. And 9 times out of 10, he just waltzes past his man, and he can deliver. He's got to back himself more. He can deliver with that right foot. I know it's not his favourite, it's not his natural foot, but I've seen him put numerous decent balls into dangerous areas.
But when you get the byline and you clip a ball like that, I mean that I used to love that when I play when a winger used to get the byline and clip it up, because it's basically just saying, "Come head me."
It doesn't have to be the best ball in the world,
because the defender's going backwards and you're coming forwards. It's all the momentum's with you. So it was a great little thing, and Vardy was obviously there to stick it in.
Yeah. So difficult to defend that, Jerry. But in both accounts, from the full-back trying to stop Fatawu, because we've seen how good he is cutting in on that left, and then he jinks past him, and then to defend the cross, as Steve's rightly been saying, so difficult as well.
Yeah, and he puts it in a lovely little pocket of space, doesn't he? That little alleyway in the 6-yard line. The keeper can't come for it. And Jamie Vardy, I mean, how many years have you seen him doing this? And Steve will tell you, it's all about the timing then. Once you see that your wide player get to the byline, and he's going to, eventually or finally he's going to try and stick it into the box, cross it into the box, then it's all down to you and the timing of that run. And when he's up against Darnell Furlong, who pretty physical fullback, and Jamie just times it perfection, gets in front of him. He's strong in the challenge as well, and obviously he gets his head in front, makes sure he's first to the ball, and it's a textbook header, down into the ground, into the back of net, keeper absolutely no chance. But yeah, just a great move for Fatawu. When he's on, he's almost unstoppable at times.
Final thoughts from the two of you. We've said it a number of times already, but that is a big 3 points this afternoon for the Foxes. And by the way, Southampton going to Cardiff, that's could be a tough game, mate. Especially now look at that, Leicester winning, and think that task of that is even harder. But yeah, let's concentrate on Leicester and a great 3.
Regardless of the nature of the win, the 3 points is absolutely huge, isn't it? And but even more so a little bit in terms of Leicester have played better than that probably and lost games. But today they just hung in there, and regardless of how the game went, they got the result. And that doesn't always happen for Leicester, and it hasn't been of late. They haven't had the rub of the green. You've got to make your own luck as well at times. But today, fortune favoured the Foxes, didn't it? And gratefully received, because it puts them in such a wonderful position with so few games to go.
I totally agree. You rode the luck, but you need that list. The stage of the season. You with 3 games left now, and rode the luck. But they defended well. They kept them out. And they won the game.
Yeah.
They'll move on to the next. Like we keep saying, they'll move on to the next few games, and just say, right, that's 1 in the bag. We've got another 3 to go.
Yeah, we said at the very start of the day, didn't we? Leicester need 3 wins from their final 4 to guarantee promotion back to the Premier League. There's 1 down this afternoon. That brilliant 2-1 victory over West Brom. The next game coming up is thick and fast, isn't it? And it's another huge game here at King Power Stadium as well. The chasing Southampton come to town. That's Tuesday night from 7 p.m. We'll be on with Matchday Live. So join us for that. Kickoff is of course at 8. Before that, we'll have extra time. At 6 p.m. on Monday. Join us on YouTube, on Facebook, and on the website, of course, as well for that, as we assess today's victory. And as ever, at your own leisure, you can listen to the latest podcast. Matt Elliott and Jerry Taggart in conversation with the one and only Muzzy Is It. You can also watch that on the website or on YouTube as well. Big thank you to Jerry Taggart, to Steve Howard and to Matt Elliott for their company this afternoon. Yes, we said 3 wins from 4 were needed. There's 1 down this afternoon. Thanks in a major part to Hamza Chowdhury. Goodbye, everybody.